Hi everyone. I'm Bill Hultquist with the MasterMind to Personal Power team. Actually broadcasting today from our world headquarters in Canal, Winchester, Ohio. Very proud and happy to be here, meeting with my fellow team members, and what we're going to do with this interview today is that we're putting together some information about each of the partners of the company, and we're going to place this information on our .biz website in order that each of the members of our company can get a better idea of who the individual partners are. And I hope you enjoy that, because we've been doing this during the day, and I think that some of the interviews have really come out beautifully to help explain the real criteria behind why this company, MasterMind and Personal Power, is unlike any company you're ever going to be exposed to or become aware of in your life. It's actually based on a vision that Andrew Carnegie had over 103 years ago. And Andrew Carnegie became the richest man in the world when he put together a group of steel companies into the U.S. Steel Company. And when that happened, with his riches, instead of just retiring and forgetting about things, he took that money and he went out into society, and he felt that he could do something to help all of us. And so he got behind a construction project that not only built Carnegie Hall in New York, but he put up over 3,900 libraries in little towns across the nation, with the idea that maybe everyone could then have access to education and learning. So, in addition to that, he was very interested in helping entrepreneurs like you and me. Entrepreneurs like you and me. Lone wolves, people, consultants, every type of person that owns their own business, small business owners, medium-sized business owners, CEOs that are by themselves, consultants, professional people, coaches, mentors, educators, professors, all these people out there that, like you and me, who have spent our life learning, and then find ourselves attempting to put a company together or something, chasing after the dream of our life, only to start making mistakes and see them all come apart. Our company, our dreams. Andrew Carnegie believed that could be avoided by putting together a blueprint of how a company really operates. And he searched and searched and found Napoleon Hill. And he asked Napoleon Hill to dedicate 20 years of his life in doing the research with what causes certain people to be successful and what causes others not to be so successful. And after he met with Napoleon Hill, and Napoleon went out and did that research with the 500 most successful people at that time in the world, Napoleon put together the law of success. And that research carried on throughout Napoleon's life. And interestingly enough, that research and the 7 books and all the things that were learned from that research have been passed on to a member of our company, Mr. Rick Gettle. And Rick has spent the last 43 years of his life doing the hard work of continuing the research and developing a course that's over 400 pages long. It's actually a workbook, which has become the central theme of our of our company and our process. We call it the foundation on which we build, because within that foundation of success, we feel that anybody being actually learning about and being exposed to those principles, it's going to have a transformational impact on their life. That's kind of an exciting idea if you think about it. Because Andrew Carnegie realized that most of us learn by making mistakes. And if we learned the principles first and then applied them to our work ethic, that the chance for failure would almost be eliminated. So we said, well, whatever happened to our entrepreneurial world? You know, we have a society that's changing, and with these transitions that are taking place, we have a change in mental attitude on the part of so many people. And what we would like to help reinstall in this country, through you and me working together to help people that are looking for a second chance, what we'd like to install is a new methodology of the way we look at our lives. The opportunity that in spite of what we're doing, whether we're employed, unemployed, or underemployed, or just concerned about what's going to be happening in the future, that we can put our own company together as sometimes to think about as a secondary source of income that we believe can lead to a new source and a new source of full-time employment for yourself at 20% of the time that you would be traditionally spending in a full-time job. Now that sounds pretty exciting to me, because I've spent my whole life going to the office and it seemed like the work never got done. Wouldn't it be neat, wouldn't it be beautiful if the world could accomplish their career in 20% of the time and spend the rest of their time with their loved ones, becoming healthy, doing things outdoors that you love to do, taking vacations, traveling the world? Wouldn't it be neat if we had the ability to actually formulate a different type of lifestyle because we had an income that allowed us that opportunity? Wow. So anyway, we started thinking about all those things that Andrew Carnegie put together, and we attracted Rick Gettle to our company, and we put together a concept of a business that each of the partners in their own way is going to explain on this website. So as you watch each of us, you'll learn more and more about the business, and I hope you become as excited about becoming a member and working with us to actually bring real positive change to our communities and our families, and hopefully to our country and even the world, through providing people an opportunity to earn money without sacrificing their life in return. Now I think you know what I'm talking about. The most important things in your life are the people that are in your life, the love that's in your life. The other most important thing in your life is your health. But how many of us have had to sacrifice the people in our life and our health to accomplish our career? So today we're going to be talking about creating financial abundance without sacrificing the most important things in our life. Now we have a dream and we have a vision, and that vision is so comprehensive we actually have used sort of a metaphor for it, if you will. And if you kind of sit in the co-pilot seat of my helicopter here for a second, I'd like to take you along with me on this trip today. And maybe you can visualize yourself as a part of this worldwide experiment, because it will become a worldwide experiment. It starts with you and me, though, today, by you making a decision to become part of this company. So we're in this helicopter that's flying north over the city of Los Angeles. Beautiful downtown area, very modern buildings, modern metropolitan area, and we're flying north up towards the mountains. You can see the mountains in the background. We're flying north up along the 110 freeway, and the Arroyo is on our right. And as we get closer and closer to the mountains, we can begin to see that the ocean is off to the left. And there in between the mountains and the ocean lies a stadium. It's the Rose Bowl. It's just a speck, but we're moving pretty quickly, and we're getting closer and closer to it. And as we get closer and closer to it, we begin to see that the stadium is filled with people. what's going on. There's obviously no football game going on today because the infield is filled with people. And in the center of the infield, there's a raised stand, and there's people on that stand, and apparently there's music playing, and there's presentations being made. But something's different from anything that you've ever seen before in your life. We're getting pretty close now. And as we begin to settle down, there's they've set aside out there in the parking lot a safe place for us to set the helicopter down. We notice a digital display out there in the parking lot, and we notice that there is not a place to park. And we notice there are people everywhere, and they're walking around, and they're shaking hands, and they're looking happy, and they're talking to one another. You've gone to a football game, it's happening. People are rushing in, don't get in my way, I want to find my seat, No, everybody seems to be there for a celebration of some sort. I don't really get it. Well, come along with me then, let's go in. So, we're escorted in here. We have one of these little carts, they're taking us on, and they take us out to the center field there, and we're getting up on a stage, and you start to hear, everyone's applauding anyone and cheering and things, but there's a little bit more as we get on the stage. And as we get on the stage, we begin to recognize that this is our day of celebration. It's a world type of celebration. This is what we've been looking forward to. It's a celebration of people that have gone through this course, that have experienced transformational change in their life by understanding the principles that Andrew Carnegie visioned over 103 years ago. He had envisioned a world free from the ravages of ourselves. He understood that human beings, for the most part, are asleep, that we've been programmed from the time that we're born to the point where we don't even recognize the powers that we have as human beings. He recognized that we all have this little voice in our head, and that little voice just keeps conjuring up every negative thing that we've ever heard from the time we've been in the womb. And during all that our head has the ability to bring that up, that negative things about we can't do this and we can't do that. And so we've been encumbered by this little voice all of our life, and we think it's us talking to ourselves. That's the strangest thing about this. And so what most of us have been doing is we've been living small and afraid and scared and staying in a safe zone and building a wall of protection around ourselves. It's really sad. The youngest of us among us in our populations, you can see them doing this at early teenage years, beginning to build that wall. And as we get older and older and older and get hurt along the way, we put up more bricks in that wall. And eventually, that wall's so big that nobody can get in. But more importantly, we can't get out. And so we never experience our beautiful birth gifts, these powers, these superpowers that every human being has been given. Now I'm walking up on the stage, getting back to the Pasadena Rose Bowl, and I'm seeing all these people celebrating and congratulating each other, and nobody cares about the seat they're in. They're all moving around and talking and meeting as many people as they can and sharing this, and everyone's got smiles on their face. And what do you think that's about? The celebration today is taking place because these people have recognized, they've gone through this course, have been endowed with this ability to understand and become aware of their personal power and the ability for them to do something about that voice in their head so it no longer controls their life. And upon recognizing that personal power and letting that emanate throughout their life, and emanating throughout their organism, they're finding themselves happy and healthy, full of energy, all the right things. And not only is that happening, but these people they have had the opportunity to start their own business, their own internet business, and they have helped other people All of us, by the way, on the earth are suffering from this same malady. And so they've helped other people open the door to their personal power. And in doing that, freed them from the slavery that comes about as a result of that neural programming that we've had from the time of our youngest times of our youth. So what's this day all about? This day is a celebration. We have the world's leading thought leaders present. They're all making presentations. We have some of the greatest bands in the world that are entertaining us between these presentations. And the whole time, everybody is enjoying that information, but they're celebrating their freedom. They have been freed from this themselves. And we find today that this is a world celebration of that freedom and a celebration of a new economy that we've been able to establish as a result of this day. And then I'm so surprised. I look up at the digital display, and it's, carrying, and I suddenly realize this is a simulcast. And this simulcast is carrying the same information to stadiums around the country. In all the major cities where there's major stadiums, people are filling those major those stadiums, and they're all cheering and celebrating their personal freedom. And we realize today it's not about the thought luminaries that are on the stage making presentations. It's not about me. And it's actually not even about you. We've made this happen, because we got together and started this. But it's about us. Because what we've created is a world in which dysfunctionality has all but disappeared. Because when we get control of ourselves, we stop living in those lower reaches. We stop living out of fear, and we start living out of love and recognition for the powers that we have, and sharing this information and power with other people. And so today's simulcast is not only being broadcast to stadiums in this country, but to stadiums around the world. And we began to realize that this is a world celebration of personal power. And it's all about why we formed this company. And it's all about why you need to really look at what we're doing. Because this message and the material that we have is life-changing. And this isn't about a couple people. This is what the world needs in order to change what we're doing, the insanity about what's happening. And by the way, the simulcast is on TV screens around the world because not everyone can make it to a stadium. And by the way, we all recognized that we're all alike and that we're all part of each other. And we've created a new world doing this. We've created a new world full of love and happiness. And guess what that means? Opportunities for our children that no other generation has ever brought about. Opportunities for all of us. It's an incredible thing. I welcome you aboard. It might sound a little outrageous, but we can do it. So why don't we just decide to get started and get this process going today? Thank you.